in Madison, Wisconsin. We welcome you from the Kohl Center. The Purdue Boilermakers in town, taking on the Wisconsin Badgers. Second of our doubleheader tonight on FS1. Great to have you with us, everybody. Brian Anderson along with the great Lynn Elmore. Always a pleasure to be with you, my friend. Now, these two players that they were mentioning in the pregame show, Ethan Happ and Carson Edwards, dynamic players, probably leading candidates along with Cassius Winston for Player of the Year in the Big Ten. These are the players that are going to carry the load for both of these programs.
Well, two of the nation's finest, let alone the Big Ten. We talk about Ethan Happ. He is so versatile. You marvel at his skill level. Without question, a guy with his size that does plenty of things. And Carson Edwards, Big Ten's preseason Player of the Year. Sixth in the nation in scoring, 24.5 points. He is a point machine.
Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Edwards fronts the Boilermakers, Happ fronts the Badgers. Usually in games like this, it's those ancillary players. Who do you got tonight, Lynn?
Well, junior Evan Boudreaux for Purdue is injured, so Travion Williams, the 6'9" freshman, has to start in his place. Good thing Williams had a double-double against Michigan State. And Khalil Iverson, athletic, long, he's going to be asked to guard Carson Edwards.
Wisconsin will control the opening tip. You heard the guys talking about Travion Williams, number 50 in black. This is his first career collegiate start, the freshman. He's been coming off the bench. He gets the nod here tonight with Evan Boudreaux out with an adductor strain. And right down on him goes Happ. Double team comes, poked away by Klein, and it's a turnover for Wisconsin on their first possession.
They're Purdue with their man-to-man playing tight, and when Happ receives down low, expect a double.
With the much bigger Iverson guarding Carson Edwards. Matt Painter, year number 14 as the head man at Purdue, had 1 year at Southern Illinois. He followed Gene Cady, two coaches for the Boilermakers since 1980, and a terrific player for the Boilermakers as well.
And you see right away, number 21 for Wisconsin, Khalil Iverson, just sticking to Carson Edwards like a blanket.
Williams gets the first shot up, comes up short with Reavers on him. Wisconsin comes in 11-4, 3-1 in conference play. They lost a home conference game the last time they were on this floor against Minnesota, and then went on the road and beat Purdue. Iverson got it deep. Iverson gets the scoring started tonight.
Yeah, if Iverson is going to be guarded by Carson Edwards, expect the mismatch to be identified often by Wisconsin.
Iverson at 6'5". You remember Michigan State in their win over Purdue. They put Matt McQuaid and Aaron Henry on Carson Edwards and held him to a season-low 11 points. In the corner, Eifert rattles a three-pointer home. And that's how Purdue gets their scoring started this evening.
Well, 40% of their points have come from beyond the arc. Purdue averages about 10.5 threes per game, and every time they go inside out, they're looking.
A foul underneath. And there is Greg Gard, year number 4. Took over in December of 2015. Longtime assistant under Bo Ryan. This is his 18th year at Wisconsin. He is a Wisconsinite through and through from small town of Cobb, Wisconsin, not too far from here. Catch by Iverson, can't finish, and what do we have? They're going to count the basket, call that a goaltend. The official, Courtney Green, in the far position, says Harm's got a piece of that, and they will score this one. Wow. My eyes didn't see it that way, but I have 4 of them on right now. It's an early entry into this game for Matt Harms after Travion Williams picked up the foul, and there is Klein. And Len mentioned the 40% of production coming from behind the arc. Most of that comes from Carson Edwards and Ryan Klein. They've combined for 102 three-pointers through the first 15 games, plus this shot by Klein. Reavers, short.
Reavers tried to take it inside, but when it goes inside out to Ethan Happ and Reavers gets the pass out of the double team, he's got to face up and take that shot.
Nojel Eastern gets a friendly roll, and Lynn, he could become one of those quote-unquote others that has an impact on this game.
We like right now the way Purdue, the others, are attacking the basket, not necessarily settling, and when they do have the outside shot, they're burying it.
Happ with Harms on him now. He already put a foul on Williams. Now working on Harms, left-handed off the window. So skilled inside.
And that's what I'm talking about. Not only utilizing either hand, but the footwork. You know, Ethan Happ works an awful lot. You see him before practice working on his ball handling skills, his footwork. I mean, this is not something you're absolutely born with. Ethan Happ has proven hard work pays.
Edwards finally gets free. Broke free from Iverson. He buries his first three. Carson Edwards leading the Big Ten in scoring at 24.5 a game. Dishes out 3.2 assists per game. Gets over 3 rebounds a game. He is a complete player and the dominant scorer in the conference. That'll be last touch by Purdue. Wisconsin ball, 13 on the shot clock.
And again, Purdue recognizing the mismatches down low. That time Reavers was definitely mixed up with Eifert. The double team comes to try to force the ball out of the hands of the low postman.
Wisconsin at 11-4 this year. They have 7 wins against major conference opponents. They've had a great non-conference and an early conference schedule, minus that home loss against Minnesota. 3-1 conference play. Edwards finds Eifert, Haps on him. Edwards had it poked away by Iverson. Still at it, lost the handle. Turnover. Wisconsin ball after this timeout.
Ethan Happ, look at that footwork to spin the left-hand hook. Outstanding there. And then a terrific job of utilizing the screen. Carson Edwards. The stars have come out tonight.
Monday on
Big Ten basketball is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Kohl Center, Madison, Wisconsin, a sellout over 17,000. Boilermakers have an 11-6 lead here in this long-time rivalry. 180th all-time meeting dates back to 1906. Purdue's last win here in Madison, late December of 2015. That was Greg Gard's first conference game as a head coach. It'll be Wisconsin ball. Dimitri Trice running the point, and Happ puts a serious screen on Nojel Eastern.
Yeah, Matt Harms has to get up there and at least call it out to protect Eastern's dentures.
Sasha Stefanovic on the floor trying to check Davison, and Happ comes away with a rebound in the middle of 3 Boilers and scores it.
Well, that's the 8th point in the paint for Wisconsin, none for Purdue. Both teams playing to their strength, but again, Ethan Happ established an excellent position down low and pretty good hands.
Happ over 1,000 career rebounds. He just tied Kent Benson, 12th most in Big Ten history. Has 1,031 rebounds, making 1,032 rebounds.
Well, Harms, when he gets it down there, has got to realize how big, how long he is. Take his time.
Purdue had made 4 consecutive shots, turned it over, had 3 threes in the middle of that run of 4 in a row. Edwards turned it over. Now Happ gives it up. Reavers, he can shoot from out there. That one missed badly. And Eifert pulls down the board.
But that's the idea. When Reavers' man comes to help, he's got to establish himself, make himself available for Happ.
On the take is Eastern, and he touched it last. That'll be last touch by Badger.
Look at Ethan Happ getting right to the front of the rim. You know, reckless abandon, surrounded by black shirts, still able to corral it and put it back.
Well, Ethan Happ this year, you see where he ranks in the Big Ten. He just stuffs the stat sheet every night. 3rd in points. He's at 19.3 a game, 2nd in boards, 4th in assists. Ryan Klein misses badly. The sharp shooter from behind the arc. Klein shooting at nearly 40%. Takes about 8 threes per game on average and missed everything that time.
Brian, going back to Ethan Happ, though, you get knocked out by the numbers, but when you look at him on the floor, his ability to handle the ball for a guy his size, and the assist, finding the open man. That just tells you he's a special player.
Saw Aaron Wheeler check in. Eric Hunter on the floor as well. Carson Edwards sits for now. Always key minutes developing when Edwards is on the bench for Purdue. A lean forward, feeding Happ. Happ working on Williams, who just checked back in with a foul, and Happ scores over top of him.
Yeah, Purdue's got to recognize you cannot allow Ethan Happ to go one-on-one against anybody out there on the floor, because more times than not, he's going to win it. Williams is stout enough, strong enough, but he's got to keep him off of that spot.
Here's Wheeler looking inside. Good catch. Can he finish? He does. Scores over Ethan Happ. Trevion Williams.
And a freshman, we mentioned it before, last game against Michigan State, 13 points, 12 rebounds in 20 minutes. It's the most that he had played this year up until then.
Handled the Michigan State bigs well, Nick Ward and company. And Williams with 13 points in 21 minutes in that game. There's a Wisconsin turnover. Purdue will get it back.
Well, you're going to take a look at these guys right here and watch the way they battle mid-post, and Happ just bumps Williams, and Williams gives ground, which he can't afford to do. But Purdue's got to be able to send somebody. If somebody's going to beat you, it can't be Ethan Happ, because that's going to happen.
Ethan Happ has scored the last 6 points for Wisconsin. Working inside again. Now it's Reavers. Nice spin. Oh, what a finish. Trevion Williams. The spin and the reverse jam. Okay.
Talk about dancing.
Okay. Welcome to the Big Ten in his first career start.
Outstanding footwork, and then the elevation. Sending a message, big fella.
It's a kid who lost 50 pounds. This is since June he's lost 50 pounds once he arrived to campus in West Lafayette. Shot clock gets down to 4. King. And that's saved by Ford, right into the hands of Stefanovic. Edwards back on the floor. Runs it. Can't finish. But there to clean it up is Aaron Wheeler.
I was just going to say excellent defense before you mentioned the clock. And Purdue sticking with folks. And without Ethan Happ on the floor, a little bit easier for them to get out and play people without having to worry about Happ on the post.
Wisconsin protects the ball about as well as anybody in the country, and yet 3 turnovers already for the Badgers. Demetric Trice, again, late clock here, down to 5. Trice will pull it. And it is Edwards who clears it away in transition. Hunter running the floor. Wheeler saves it. Edwards wide open for 3. Timeout, Greg Gard. And a lightning bolt. The Boilermakers come out of the last timeout and now have a 10-point lead.
That's hard.
The NFC
Hey, you gotta, they're gonna get some things, and when they do, we still challenge shots and come back and rebound the ball. All right? Finish the play. Great rebound and get those loose balls right there. We can't get on the break, all right, unless we get those loose balls and long rebounds. Great job, great hustle.
I'll tell you what, you always want to play for a coach that's got that type of excitement and energy. You just hope that the players are listening to him, but definitely he's exhorting them to continue the effort.
Well, coming out of the timeout, Brevin Pritzel on a feed from Happ as Wisconsin tries to restore some order here on their home floor. That 9-0 run, by the way, for Purdue was a quick one, over 2 minutes. That 9-0 run to get them up 10. Now they're up 8. Here's Edwards, and he plows his way into Brad Davison. Offensive foul is going to send it the other way. Matt Painter, now 48 years of age. 3 times he has been the coach of the year in the Big Ten. 4 of his 6 losses are against ranked teams. So, Lynn, he comes in to this game with the Boilermakers with the net rating at 25.
Well, again, this is a team that's had one of the toughest schedules in the country. Purdue, they've seemed to have survived it nicely. That's why they're so high in that net ranking.
Ethan Happ finishes, little scoop on the reverse.
I'll tell you what, again, he can beat you just about anywhere on the floor. Not a great outside shooter, but his handling ability gets him where he wants to go, and usually that's in the paint.
Happ has 8 of Wisconsin's 14 points. He scored 8 in just 7 minutes to start this game. Trevion Williams with a thunder jam a moment ago.
Williams had his success down low, and he's outside setting screens, etc. Purdue's kind of gone away from what had gotten in the league.
Going to call the foul on Wisconsin.
This is a tough matchup for Williams. The quickness. But you got to be in the film room. You got to study the fact that Ethan Happ oftentimes goes to his right. Sometimes he'll switch. But if I'm Williams, I get to that right hand and force him to help instead of allow him to go baseline.
He's an unusual post presence in that he doesn't require others to get him the ball. Yes, he's a post. Point guard plays importance. Edwards pulls a 3 and knocks it down. What a stroke. Carson Edwards. Carson Edwards shooting 37% from behind the arc, and against Michigan State made just 2 of 13 from three-point range. He's already hit 3 in this one.
Just on the inbounds play, going behind the screen. Again, trying to fight over is Iverson on the second screen. But you got to find a way to get over top of that screen and use that length.
Aleem Ford misses his first try at a 3. Edwards hustles it down. Purdue gets right into their action. Harms to Edwards. Iverson still on him. Nice cut. Klein runs into traffic. Fans here looking for a travel. Here's Eastern, the lefty, no good. And Happ clears it away.
And that time after Edwards made that pass, he just stood there. He's got to get himself back involved in the play.
Davison on the drive. That'll be a foul on Purdue. They're going to get Aaron Wheeler as Davison was on the attack. Back on the floor comes Grady Eifert now. And Wheeler will get a breather. A couple of freshmen on the bench here. You got Hunter and Wheeler. Trevion Williams got the start tonight, but these are 3 freshmen that are going to have to give Purdue some production in Big Ten play. Multiple changes here for Wisconsin. Kobe King back on the floor. And Trice will put it in. Ethan Happ has 8 points. Rest of the Badgers with 6. On 3 of 10 shooting from the others. Happ trying to split the double team. Falls to the ground. Got plenty of time. Tries a little teardrop. No. Iverson flying high. Oh, Iverson had it swatted by Harms.
And Harms making his length of excellent use down there. Never left his feet.
That's 7 foot 3 inches, Matt Harms. Edwards turns a corner, gets some separation. Oh, off the window and the friendly bounce. Carson Edwards on a roll. You knew he would have a bounce-back game after scoring just 11 against Michigan State. He's too talented.
And Matt Painter told us that, you know, when he looks for a shot and he doesn't worry about having to make plays and get guys involved, he makes better decisions. I mean, instinctively, he'll get people involved. But if he starts thinking, then he has some trouble, and that's what's happened in this mini slump that he had prior to this game.
Countdown. And 1 for Ethan Happ. Second chance opportunity. Harms fell to the ground. And a free throw coming. Back to Edwards.
You see Carson Edwards just a little step back and a kind roll. And our big man, Mr. Inside, Ethan Happ, you know, just playing perseverance. Once he puts the ball up, somebody's got to put a body on him. He is the guy right now that's beating Purdue. Purdue's got to recognize that, and they've got to double their efforts.
This is where the struggles began for Ethan Happ. Missing that first free throw could have an effect. He's just a 49% free throw shooter.
And it is absolutely mental. We sat here and watched him pregame sink 7 or 8 free throws in a row. Perfect rotation. Excellent releases, follow through. But yet he gets on the line in a game, and, you know, the brain takes over.
Well, Wisconsin charts every shot, every free throw in practice. He's an 80% free throw shooter in their mock scenarios. But in the game, he can't replicate it.
He works at it, too. It's not like he doesn't work.
Harms drops Happ. He was looking for the charge. And the officials wisely hold off on blowing the whistle. whistle, and Harms scores it.
I'm not saying this to be cute, but when you look at Harms, you look at his size, his narrowness. I'm sure the officials probably thought there's no way he can knock Ethan Happ down.
It's been a stretch of 8 in a row scored by Carson Edwards until that Harms 2. Ethan Happ has scored 10 of the last 12 for Wisconsin. He's got the ball again with the left hand. Finishes on Harms again.
Just takes him in one direction, drops steps to the basket, and once again, utilizing that left hand.
Happ's got 12 already, his 40th consecutive game scoring in double digits. Ties the great John Lure for second most in program history. And Happ hits the deck this time, and Harms called for the foul, and he is spitting mad, and I think he just got a tee. Matt Harms was barking all the way back to the bench.
Right there, it probably should have been called with that left arm. Happ also helped it, but Happ pays back nicely.
(27-18), little housekeeping here, Lynn. We have a foul on Harms, also a technical foul on Matt Harms.
Well, watch the precipitating incident pause right here. It begins there. Harms backs in, and Happ goes down. Now, Harms will probably argue that Happ had his left arm on him and pulls him down, but you see the tee right away. Courtney Green, the official, right on top of it.
And so Harms picks up a couple of quick fouls there, one on the tee. Wisconsin will have 2 shots and the ball. 7:25 remaining in this first half. Purdue went on a 9-0 run over 2 minutes. A quick run for the Boilers to go up 10. And Davison, normally a very good free throw shooter, comes up short on the first. It's an epidemic, says Greg Gard. Missed them both.
It looked like he compensated. Well, the first one was short. The second one was long. Ball's going to be inbounded at the point of interruption. That's where the foul occurred. The offensive foul by Harms underneath the basket.
Matt Painter still working on the official DJ Carstensen. He's calling for a flop. Wisconsin has developed a bit of a reputation, especially Brad Davison, as a team that will draw charges, offensive fouls. There's a lot of flopping going on.
But you can't help him out, and I think that's what Harms did. He continued to back away, even with Happ's right arm around his waist.
Trice hits a 3. Demetric Trice, a 47% three-point shooter, but Len, he has really struggled here in his last 3 games. Just 4 makes, 19 misses from behind the arc in his last 3.
Yeah, even though he's had that slump, he's still 10th in the nation in shooting from beyond the arc. It was 5 of 23, as you said, over the last 4 games.
Williams misses. The double team came. Now Trice in transition. Iverson fouled. Ryan Klein got him on the arm. Free throws for Iverson.
Well, here's Demetric Trice right here. He's got his hand up calling my play. And now watch, just utilizes his quickness without the ball. And he has the ability to draw. Nice jumper.
Second foul on Klein. Badgers in the bonus here. This is a 2-shot foul for Iverson, though. Iverson shoots it at 67%. And it's a 5-point game. Substitutions coming for Matt Painter, Aaron Wheeler, Eric Hunter back on the floor. Nojel Eastern also checking in. So you got the 3 freshmen running with Eastern and Edwards, and it's Eastern who pulls down the board, the sophomore. 3 freshmen, a sophomore, and one of the best scorers in the country in Carson Edwards, who heads down to the corner. Eastern will run the point, get the offense started. Hunter looking for Edwards. Edwards, and he's fouled. The rip through, and Iverson got him on the arm. 3 free throws for Carson Edwards. Veteran move.
Absolutely. That's the problem you have with the extended arm on the defender. You know, you should reach out, reach up, but never reach in. Because guys like Carson Edwards will make you pay.
second foul on Khalil Iverson. Carson Edwards is second best in the Big Ten in free throw shooting. He's at 88%. Comes up empty on the first. Gets to the line often. That's another part of his game against Michigan State. The Spartans just did not allow Edwards to get to the line. He only attempted 4 free throws. Made 3 of them. Kobe King back on the floor for the Badgers.
And the idea is, with a guy like Carson Edwards, as talented as he is, you're not going to stop him. But what you try to do is contain and make him work for his shots and ultimately wear him down.
Made 1 of 3. Unusual trip to the line for Carson Edwards. Missed opportunity for Purdue. It's a 6-point game. Wisconsin trailing with the ball. 6:15 remaining in this first half. Part of our Friday night doubleheader here on FS1.
It's so critical for Purdue to communicate to each other because of the screens that Wisconsin sets. You know, the crosses of the ball. Defenders have to be aware of exactly what their teammates are doing.
Shot clock at 6. Half working on the freshman. Shot hook is good. He's getting what he wants around the rim right here.
He's getting what he wants because he's getting to where he wants. That's the beauty of his ball handling. And I think that is the negative to approach that Purdue is having towards that. You got to go at him, make him give it up.
Edwards front rim and a foul on Kobe King of Wisconsin. Good board there by Eastern.
Now look at Happ. He's backing his man down, The help comes too late as Eastern finally gets there, but you got to get there way before he gets into the paint.
20 paint points for Wisconsin. 14 of those coming from Ethan Happ. He's got 14 points in 13 minutes. He also has 6 rebounds.
Pretty good defense by Davison against Carson Edwards.
Eastern taking King down on the block. No, here's Happ. He can handle it. If you let him, he'll go coast to coast. Good pass. Reavers, the catch and finish. Wow. Ethan Happ on display.
And it's about picking your poison. You double Happ and you force him to pass the ball, but he's averaging almost 5 and 6 per game. You've got to cover in the middle. If he's going to kick it, make him kick it outside.
He's a center, and he is 4th in the Big Ten in assist. 10-1 Wisconsin run, and Edwards, no, back iron, and that's going to be a foul. On the floor here, Nate Reavers of Wisconsin will get the call.
Wow. Take a look at the cut right there. That was Edwards kind of falling asleep. You got to get in front of the man, make him go behind you. Another look, see how he cuts right in front. Reavers gets right in front of Edwards. Edwards got to get in front of him, between him and the ball. And on that end, I thought that they were going to call for sure a push-off, but it was a hold with the arms reaching behind.
I'm with you. Trevion Williams dangerously close to a second foul. Instead, it goes to Reavers. New 30 on the clock for Purdue. And Badger fans playing official here. Thought that one should have been a foul. Bullet pass, nice catch, and a foul. I'll tell you what, Trevion Williams, the scouting report on him coming out of high school was he had the claw grip. Great rebounder, great hand strength, and that catch on a hot pass gives you an indication of that.
Well, you see the potential is there. I mean, this is a young man that prepped in Michigan, despite coming from Chicago. Lost 50 pounds since his arrival at Purdue. Gained that weight probably because of a broken foot that he had to stay off of for a long period of time. But he's worked pretty hard. And again, his role model is former Purdue great Caleb Swanigan. They got a similar build. He wears number 50 like Swanigan. Now, if he can only rebound, he can score like Swanigan.
Well, he is getting the start tonight is Williams with Evan Boudreau on the shelf with a adductor strain. Normally the starter, the transfer from Dartmouth, Boudreau. But it is Williams' night to shine. And Wheeler with the block, but the foul prior to the shot. There's Evan Boudreau. So disappointed he couldn't play here tonight. Wants to get back out there. He was really ineffective. Played just 10 minutes against Michigan State. Had just 5 points. He's made 4 starts. He was the man who replaced Matt Harms when Matt Painter decided it was best to have Harms come off the bench for the Boilers. Trice hits the first of a 1-and-1.
And the one thing Boudreau brings is experience. You know, all Ivy second team as a sophomore, was a rookie of the year in the Ivy League as a freshman. So he's gotten his minutes. He's known success.
All tied at 28. Been a nice run for Wisconsin here. It was now 12-1 run for the Badgers to get it tied at 28. 4 minutes remaining in this first half, and a whistle away from the ball. Carson Edwards trying to break free. Boy, Edwards is a handful. And whoever is tasked with guarding him, whether it be Iverson, who's on the bench with 2 fouls, or Kobe King, who comes off the bench for Wisconsin, it's a tough night's work. Stefanovic. And there's Reavers. Pulls down the board on another missed free throw.
That was Stefanovic's 3rd free throw attempt this season.
Trice patient. Gives it up. Reavers. And he walked with it. Timeout on the floor. We're all tied at 28. Greg Gard's Badgers. Matt Painter's Boilermakers from Madison, Wisconsin. Glad you're with us. Oh, he's starting to call some shots in that studio in L.A. How about Carson Edwards, Lenny?
He's calling a few shots himself. 4 of 8 from the field. Been able to utilize screens well and even knock down the open shot. And you cannot go below the screens. You got to fight over top if you're going to bother Carson Edwards. 12 points on the game thus far. 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, as I mentioned.
It's 4 of 8 from the field with those 3 threes. Ethan Happ with 14 points has 7 boards. The 2 star players in this matchup. 3:37 left in this first half. An entertaining one. Wisconsin down 11, goes on a 12-1 run to get it to 28-28. Here is Stefanovic. No, rattles in and out. Happ grinding it out with Williams, and it is Aleem Ford who secures it for Wisconsin.
And both teams doing it their way. Purdue 5 of 7 from beyond the arc, and Wisconsin 22 points in the paint, playing to their strengths.
Well, Carson Edwards and Ethan Happ, as advertised. Happ getting all of his inside the paint. 14 of the 20 in the paint that Wisconsin has scored coming from Happ. He's 7 of 8. Had a couple of nice assists. Aleem Ford will shoot the free throw. And it'll be Hunter who is called for the foul, which is number 2 on number 2 for Purdue. And Ford hits a first. By the way, talking about free throws for Stefanovic, that's the first free throw attempt and make of the year for Aleem Ford. The season hasn't actually made a free throw or been to the line since the Big Ten tournament at Madison Square Garden last March.
Well, he's known as a three-point shooter. Last year led the team in three-point percentage. So if you don't get close to the basket, you're not going to get fouled that often. It's an experience that he should have periodically. He's got the length.
Well, you could say, if you wanted to spin it positively, that he hasn't missed a free throw in a year. He made 4 of 4 in that Big Ten tournament game against Maryland. He's hit his first, and now a violation here will give him another chance. Officials want to go check out the timer, I think, here. I'm not sure exactly. It's supposed to be, I think, 3:14 on the clock. So they ran some time off as the ball was loose.
But just as we continue to discuss both these teams and the strengths that they have in their individual stars, it's really going to come down to the defenses trying to find a way to get the ball out of the hands. Wisconsin's defense to get the ball out of the hands of Carson Edwards, and Purdue's defense to get it away from Ethan Happ and make somebody else beat you. But right now, both of those individuals are keeping their respective teams in the game.
Another chance here for Ford, and he knocks it down. Well, Purdue has missed on their last 5 field goal attempts. The Badgers have made their last 5, and now the free throws from Ford, and Wisconsin on top. Edwards has it blocked by Happ and didn't foul. So impressive.
That's where Edwards has to recognize. He had 3 guys on him. An excellent defensive play by Happ.
Davison hits the deck, gives it to Happ. Good rescue there for Wisconsin. Clock ticks. Shot clock at 14. Pass. Davison setting up Ethan Happ. Badgers by 4 on their feet at the Kohl Center in Madison.
That's an outstanding hustle play right there. Davison losing his footing. And Happ, who gave it up, moves without it. And it's his movement that makes it so tough. You see the help try to come across the lane, but much too late. Ethan Happ not only does a great job with the ball, he does an excellent job moving without it. And his teammates, when he makes himself available, usually find him.
Well, it all starts with Davison hitting the deck to secure the possession. He and Trevion Williams both go to the floor. Davison, a former football star outside Minneapolis, rescues the ball and ends up with points for Wisconsin. So Ethan Happ now trailing only Alondo Tucker, who was the National Player of the Year for Wisconsin in the 07 season. Tucker had 43 straight games in double figures, and Happ was in double figures early here tonight. Let's see if Purdue has an answer. 2.5 to go in this first half.
So he has to find a way to get it back to Edwards.
Klein takes it himself. Gives him a little Ethan Happ of his own. Splits it and scores with a finger roll. Well, that was a beautiful move. That is exactly what Ethan Happ does to his opponents. And a turnover. Wisconsin, number 5 for the Badgers. They had 3 early ones.
Excellent job by Trevion Williams on the fake. But you talk about making it happen. Just outstanding numbers, improving every single year. 16 points on 8 of 9, and there he is. Drills the 3. Carson Edwards with an answer for Purdue. All tied at 32. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. That was a 16-1 run for Wisconsin. Happ. Little scoop off the glass. And again, just faked the handoff, went hard to the basket. But one thing to recognize, and Purdue has to see it, he went to the basket hard with his left, right? Check to see if he can go with his hard to the right. I'll check to see if he can go with his left every once in a while.
On the take, Eastern drops the shoulder. That's a block. And 1 for No-Gel Eastern. Strong move to the rim. Chance at a 3-point possession. Back to Happ, who's got 18 now.
Nice underneath. I mean, that's pretty nifty for a big fella.
All the skills on display here tonight for Ethan Happ. Not only has he scored 18 points, he's only missed 1 basket. He's 9 of 10. Has 3 assists in this game. And he's pulled down 7 boards. Kobe King back on the floor. No-Gel Eastern at the line. Just a 41% free throw shooter. But he can give the Boilers the lead and does so. Knocks it down. Purdue taking a few haymakers from Wisconsin, but they're back on top. Twice Purdue had an 11-point lead in this first half. Second of our doubleheader here tonight in the Big Ten. Wisconsin and Purdue, great rivalry matchup. Happ gets tied up inside. Held ball. That'll belong to Purdue.
Excellent rotation by Purdue. Williams stepped to the baseline. The rotation came and tied Happ up. And that's what they have to do, maintain some kind of contact with Ethan Happ if somebody else has it.
This Big Ten conference is loaded this season. 79% win percentage in the non-conference. You got Michigan at the top of the heap at 16-0, 5-0 in conference. We saw Maryland come back to beat Indiana earlier tonight on FS1, and now the Badgers and the Boilers. Oh, what a finish, and a great look from Trevion Williams to set him up.
Big fella showing a few skills of his own. We talk about Ethan Happ and the versatility that he's demonstrated. Trevion Williams not to be outdone.
They're just picking us up here. Trevion Williams, a freshman, making his first career start. Step back, long two is good for Davison. 1-point game. Brad Davison connects for his first points.
It's just an outstanding, gutsy look by Davison. Matt Painter can be satisfied that it's somebody else other than Ethan Happ. He can live with that.
Only matchup of the year between these two teams. Shot clock is off. Edwards fires. Edwards misses. Happ's got it. There's time here. Happ on the move. Gives it up. Kobe King fires, and a count if it goes. And that's how the first half comes to a close. That was a very entertaining first half with a couple of big runs for each.
Yeah, the stars were twinkling in Edwards and Happ, and their supporting cast has come through very well.
Ethan Happ, 18 points, 8 rebounds. Carson Edwards with 14 into the first half, 37-36. Rob Stone in our Los Angeles crew. Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report coming up right after this.
Hear it in the background. She's watching it too.
7:36. The Boilermakers with a run at the end of the first half. A 9-4 run to take a 1-point lead. Brian Anderson with Lynn Elmore. And so Lynn, both teams shot the ball really well, over 50% of that first half, and the stars were shining. Ethan Happ and Carson Edwards.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a game of runs, and for the most part, they've been playing at a high level, both teams, but it all begins with those stars, as you mentioned. Carson Edwards just utilizing the screens to the nth degree. Excellent ball handling, squaring up, getting the job done, going to his strength. And Ethan Happ, well, he goes to his strength, creating havoc in the paint. Not only off the bounce, but moving without the ball. Both of these guys have been a load on the opponent's defenses.
As you take a look at the first half stats for Edwards and Happ, courtesy of the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Ethan Happ, 9 of 10 from the field. All that action coming in the paint. He also dished out a few assists, had 3 assists in that first half, had 3 turnovers as well. Trevion Williams making a name for himself in the Big Ten. He showed well against Michigan State with a double-double, making his first career collegiate start tonight. Trevion Williams with 6 points in 13 minutes. And a thunder jam as well.
I'm sorry, BA. The expectation of Williams is not necessarily to stop Happ, but to get in the way, to make him work. And on both ends of the floor, Williams has been able to do that. Thunderous dunks, some pretty good defensive plays. Happ has gotten his way, but Williams' presence is being felt in a positive way for Purdue.
Here's Edwards. Iverson with 2 fouls of note. Iverson and Kobe King with 2 fouls apiece as Edwards buries the 3 over Iverson.
And an excellent example of what Williams does, setting a screen outside. A wide screen, making it easy for Edwards to get the daylight.
Edwards has made 4 3-pointers. He's 4 for 7. Trice passed it up down inside to Happ. They got mismatch here, Wisconsin. And now Williams fouls Ethan Happ. Williams did a good job protecting a second foul until now.
You see that nice job. Just got in the way, forced the defender to go underneath the screen because of the angle he took. And it gave Edwards a lot of airspace. But on the other end, that foul, that reach in, that was really the first silly foul. He's only got 2 that Trevion Williams is committed.
Here's Happ again. And it's blocked by Williams.
That's getting in the way.
Trevion Williams. He is more and more comfortable with every possession. Eastern. And that's going to go the other way. Offensive foul. Eastern just plows into Trice.
Well, Happ now, he's driven right several times. That time Williams cuts him off, forces Happ to pick up his dribble and try to elevate from there. And Williams having none of it. But on the other end, just an excellent job to anticipate the move by Trice.
Well, no Evan Boudreaux tonight. He's injured, will not play. Harms on the bench with 2 fouls. Edwards deflected it right off of Trice, who loses it out of bounds. And a Wisconsin turnover. The Badgers had 3 turnovers in the first 7.5 minutes and then played the next 9 minutes of the first half with no turnovers. But 3 turnovers the last 3.5, and now they give one back to start this second half. Turnovers have been a problem in late game scenarios. Eifert for 3, short. Davis in the board, wants to move it. He's got Iverson running with him.
Good job by Purdue to get back, 2 guys back to stop transition opportunity.
A couple of big runs in that first half. Purdue had a 9-0 run. Wisconsin a 16-1 run. Trice, a bad pass, turns it over again to the ire of his head coach, standing right next to him, Greg Gard.
Yeah, Iverson was a 5-inch advantage over Carson Edwards. Force Edwards, the front of him, had an opportunity to get the lob, but the lob was too strong.
Wisconsin, the second fewest turnovers per game in Division I. Only Virginia turns it over fewer times than the Badgers. It's been a different story tonight. There's a Purdue turnover as Williams got stuck. Threw it right into the hands of Iverson.
Yeah, he got himself in no man's land in that short corner.
Davison, Edwards on him, shakes him. Here's Reavers now. Reavers for 3. Nice. Sweet stroke for the sophomore from Minnesota.
And that's what you can do with Nate Reavers. Pretty good 3-point shooter, about 35% from beyond the arc at his size. You know, they pick and pop.
Edwards answers. Carson Edwards now 19 points. 7 of 13 shooting. 4 of those 7 makes have been threes. Davison will fire a 3. Gets a friendly bounce on the high arcing 3-pointer.
We were remarking before the game, and you were telling me they're going to soft rims here. We've seen evidence of that several times.
Shooters love the Kohl Center. A little fadeaway by Edwards. Williams, the offensive rebound. Little hook shot. No, and there is Happ to clear it away. Ethan Happ with his 9th rebound to go along with 18 points. Chasing a double-double tonight. Davison gives it to Reavers, right back. And now Happ draws the double team.
A strong double team.
Davison. Klein will get the rebound on the bounce.
And that strong double team got the ball out of Happ's hands. And you know, one less guy you have to worry about as the shot clock was starting to tick down.
Edwards gives it up. Eifert to the hole. Eifert scores.
Ow. My goodness. How did he do that?
Brady Eifert goes to the rack. The senior from Fort Wayne. He's a great story. Walk-on turned scholarship player. Eifert, younger brother of Tyler Eifert, tied in with the Bengals. Here's Iverson now. No, and it was deflected there by Williams, or at least altered. Williams needs a breather, though.
Yeah, that was an outstanding pass by Happ down low, but in a tough position.
Happ, no, and it's Eifert who pokes it away from Happ, who finally runs it down and gets the timeout before he rolls out of bounds. Back and forth they go. Purdue, Wisconsin, second of our Big Ten doubleheader on FS1 from Madison.
The hustle by Purdue, Grady Eifert makes something out of nothing.
Monday, a Big Ten College Hoops doubleheader tips off on FS1. First up, James Palmer Jr. in Nebraska taking on number 22 Indiana. Romeo Langford and the Hoosiers. That's at 6 Eastern. And then these Badgers will head to take on Maryland at 8:30. Bruno Fernando, Anthony Cowan combining for 33 second-half points in their win over Indiana. That's what the table looks like in the Big Ten. 5-0 Michigan, 5-0 Michigan State.
Terps staying in the hunt right now, and I've always said if they can achieve some balance inside and out, Anthony Cowan Jr., Bruno Fernando getting it done, you know, they're going to be a tough team to deal with for the rest of this Big Ten schedule. And I'm not saying it because of the alum, but, you know.
All-time leading rebounder in Maryland history. Lynn Elmore, always great to be with you, my friend.
Hey, same here, man.
Brad Davison, a little step back, rattles home. So Davison, he's had a quiet night, had a beautiful dish to set up Hap in the first half. Davison now with 7. By the way, they did credit Ethan Happ with a rebound right before that timeout. Here's Hunter. And Davison just rips it out of harm's hands. So that rebound they credited to Ethan Happ. That's his 10th of the game. Gives him a double-double. More importantly, he passes Rudy Tomjanovich. Davison hits a 3. Starting to heat up now, Brad Davison.
What a playmaker, though, by Ethan Happ on the drive. Kicks it back to the hot hand. As soon as the defense collapsed, Happ came up with an opportunity for Davison.
Edwards is fouled by Davison. He'll shoot 3. And we'll take a timeout here in Madison. Back-to-back possessions for Brad Davison, including a step-back 3. Scored the last 8 for Wisconsin. Here in Wisconsin. We are in Madison. The Badgers have a 3-point lead. Lynn, the last 8 have been scored by Brad Davison.
Yeah, skill and basketball IQ equal a bucket. Take a look. Ethan Happ has it. He'll see the defense kind of shift, and then Davison comes to the open spot. But how often do you see a big guy make that kind of play? That's his versatility. And we talk about the assist number. Ethan Happ already has 4 assists out of the 9 for Wisconsin. He just makes plays, regardless of where he is on the floor.
Just tied Mike Kelly for 5th all-time as Carson Edwards hits the free throw. He'll be shooting 3 here. It's a night of superlatives for Ethan Happ. If they feel like they're coming at you in waves, it's because he's putting up numbers that are rewriting the Wisconsin program history books and the Big Ten history books.
Seems like every time he gets on the floor, he does that. I mean, the redshirt senior, he's been around a while, but nevertheless, he's made a lot of effort with the time he's had.
Picked up his 10th rebound tonight, which passes Rudy Tomjanovich for 9th most in Big Ten history. Rudy T, great coach of the Rockets, great player, outstanding talent at Michigan.
He's a great player with Houston as well.
Top 10 all time. Here's Happ. Gives it up. 4 to pull 3. And the lead 4. It's a triple. 50-46 Wisconsin. Back up 4.
And again, inside out, the easy way that time. Happ on the post up, surveys the defense and kicks it back to him.
Happ picks up his 5th assist of the night. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Klein for 3. Got it. Sweet stroke of Ryan Klein with an answer.
And in practice today, you saw Klein working on that. The screen down, coming off, gets his feet set, shoulders square.
Klein shoots about 8 threes a game. He's only fired 2 tonight, has made them both.
Arms did a better job of keeping Happ away from the basket.
Davison ran into traffic. 5 on the shot clock. Happ goes to work. Shakes his man. Oh, my goodness. No. Come on. The little fake and the scoop for 2 more. Give him 20.
That's the second time he's gone to the scoop.
Special talent. Carson Edwards and Ethan Happ pulling out the entire toolbox here tonight. Been fun to watch. Edwards sitting on 21. He's firing up a 3 again. Offensive board, Wheeler. Klein for 3. Yes, sir. Ryan Klein buries another 3. Now 3 for 3 from behind the arc.
Aaron Wheeler with that outstanding athleticism tracks down that rebound. The defense was sucked into the middle.
Bullet pass on the bounce. Here's Ford again. No. Edwards up high for the rebound. He's ready to push it. Edwards with Davison on him. And he'll fire up a 3, and he'll knock it down. Damn, man. Pure stroke. Carson Edwards. 1 more 3-point make. Gives him 5 for the game. 24 points.
Ice. See if Davison can return the favor.
Double team comes for Happ. Dribbles out of it. And let's see, that'll be Purdue ball. Turnover Wisconsin. 55-52. The Boilers are running. Both teams shooting it well, Lenny.
Absolutely. The ball's delivered nicely and buried nicely right there by Ford. And then Ryan Klein off the screen knocks one down from downtown. But Ethan Happ, what a story with the scoop.
There's this thing called tonight, the road team, the Boilers leading 55-52. Now, last year, these two teams split. Home team won each game. And number 6, Purdue, came in here to Madison. Ethan Happ was outstanding. 21 points, 12 rebounds on Frank Kaminsky night. Last season, last February 2018, they stormed the floor on Frank Kaminsky night. Badgers took down number 6 Purdue. This is the only meeting of the year between these two teams. Edwards bangs it off the backboard, looking for a pass to Harms. Ends up as a turnover.
Yeah, miscommunication. Harms was setting a screen instead of being ready for the alley-oop.
Purdue had made 3 consecutive threes, and now Iverson turns it over. Wow. Leading a lean forward too far. And for Wisconsin, that's turnover number 11. Their season high is 13, which has happened twice.
Prior to the game, talking to Greg Gard, and I said, you know, with the few turnovers that they make, the points per game, the few points per game that they allow, you know, it's a team that doesn't beat themselves. But right now, they're opening the door.
And a foul on the floor underneath, away from the ball. I believe it's going to belong to Reavers. And that'll keep the ball on this side of the floor. Red guard. And 12-4 against Purdue. His first game, that last Purdue win here in Madison, was Guard's first game as the head coach. He had just taken over from Bo Ryan December 15th of 2015. They started the conference schedule late December that year. That was back when it was an 18-game schedule in Big Ten play. It has gone to 20 games this season. Purdue 2-2. Their loss is coming to Michigan State and Michigan. Badgers are 3-1 in conference play this year. Now another foul. This is an offensive foul. Going to send it the other way, and it's going to be on Matt Harms. That'll be number 3 on Harms, who will head to the bench. Back in is Trevion Williams.
Well, Matt Harms did his job while he was out there. He made sure that, you know, they made it more difficult for Wisconsin to score inside, giving Trevion Williams some rest. But, you know, this is Williams' game inside.
Here's Trice now. Three-pointer is in. Demetric Trice. After the Harms foul and the giveaway by Purdue, Trice squares it at 55.
We mentioned before, Trice on fire early in the season. Over the last 4 games, not so much. Wisconsin would sorely need him to establish that outside game.
Edwards drives strong. No, follow not there. Easton's got it back. Third chance here for Purdue. Edwards again. Gives it up. Williams, the catch. Can't finish. Happ and Williams. And it's Happ who wrestles it down. Rebound number 11 for Ethan Happ to go at 20 points and 5 assists.
Another high screen.
Trice. Patient. Trice off the window. Boy, had it.
Tough angle, though.
Got himself open. Couldn't finish it. Klein's buried a couple of threes in this half. Goes to the rack this time. And a foul on Purdue as Happ hits the deck.
Well, take a look at Ethan Happ on the screen. He just does a nice job of just getting in the way. Sets it again. And that's all Demetrius Trice needed. Just a little bit of airspace created by his big teammate outside.
These two teams firing away from behind the three-point line. 6 of the last 7 made field goals have been 3. Purdue has 3 of them. Wisconsin 3 of them. Ford inside to Happ. He's got Wheeler on him, gives it up. And now Wheeler almost with a steal. 13 on the shot clock. Got caught in a switch down there, and Wheeler ends up handling that possession well defensively.
Yeah, Purdue expects the switches, and that was pretty good defensive sequence by them, getting the ball out of Ethan Happ's hands. The more passes you can make your opponent take, the higher the risk for them, and the greater the opportunity you have of deflecting or stealing.
Now Williams back on Happ. Trice uses that screen. Trice sends it up. Iverson keeps it alive, and it is Edwards who clears it away.
The smallest man in the bunch.
Smallest but the strongest. Fade away. No-Gel Eastern with a putback.
No-Gel was no joke on that one. Left-hand putback.
Purdue back on top. And Happ carries it. He wanted to make a pass. Purdue changed up the defense quickly, and it ends up as a turnover.
And that's the best way to defend an Ethan Happ. You continue to change your defenses. You double them one time, you fake it another, force him to think. And you can create some turnovers there. As you see, Purdue really bearing down on trying to get the ball out of Ethan Happ's hands.
Harms back on the floor. Trevion Williams will sit. Here's Harms now. Happ on him. By the way, that was the 5th turnover by Ethan Happ. Edwards steps in. Edwards knocks it down.
I love not only the split of the potential double team that was coming, but also a 45-degree angle using that glass.
He just plays at another gear, does Edwards. So strong with the ball. Can clear space for himself. He's having a big night. Davison. Arms on Happ. Banging his way in. Happ with the left. Gets a foul. Ethan Happ a chance at a three-point play. Time out on the floor. Badgers down a pair. Happ's going to the line, but Edwards keeping Purdue in front.
I'll tell you what, one of the few times this half, Ethan Happ goes one-on-one, and he makes them pay.
And an NFC divisional playoffs kickoff on Fox. Tomorrow, Cowboys, Rams, and then on Sunday, Eagles, Saints. All happening this weekend on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Ethan Happ with an and-one opportunity. It is a 2-point Purdue lead. Lynn Happ will go to the line trying to cap off a 3-point play. This is the first free throw attempt of the half for Wisconsin. Happ's had his problems at the line. What do you see in his stroke?
Well, watching him in practice yesterday and before the game today, I didn't see any flaws whatsoever. And he's knocking them down many times just all net. But obviously in front of a huge crowd like this with the game on the line, it's a whole different story. That's what he was doing. That's exactly what he's doing. Excellent release. Keeps the follow-through up. Outstanding rotation. And it was all net.
Finishes off a 3-point trip. Makes it a 1-point game. Happ is 1 for 2 from the line. And both free throw attempts coming as and ones.
Nice job playing the curl that time.
Eastern, and it'll be a whistle on Wisconsin. Happ closing from behind. Foul's going to belong to Davison.
I mean, there's not a lot you can do with the curl, and particularly since Eastern went down to the low block. Davison with his second foul, but nevertheless, he stayed between him and the basket, didn't give him a direct path, and got some help.
No-Gel Eastern at the free throw line. And he's 1 out of 2 from there. It's been a struggle for Eastern at the line as well. Back on the floor comes Grady Eifert. And Wheeler will sit.
One of the things you look at when you shoot free throws is how smooth the shot is. Purdue is shooting awful from the line.
Purdue just 4 of 11. They get 5 of 12. And we're back to a 2-point game. 60-58. Purdue in the lead on the road. 7:25 remaining in regulation. Second of our Friday night doubleheader of Big Ten play here on FS1. Saw Maryland come back to beat Indiana in the opener. Happ working on Williams. Another block. Williams got a piece. Gets it back. What a defensive possession for the freshman.
Yeah, that was outstanding defense, but underestimating the length of Williams did Happ.
Purdue has 4 blocks. Williams has 2 of those. Edwards. And that's Happ with the hands and the deflection. 11 on the shot clock.
Now watch Happ with the up and under. And a nice job there by Williams to stay on his feet and not to leave his feet until Happ leaves his feet. And you look at that length, reaching right across Happ, over his head, no contact. That's an outstanding job by Williams, freshman.
Happ's going to get a breather. Mark the score. Purdue by 2 as Happ goes to the bench. And here is Edwards. Too strong. Williams kept it alive, and there's going to be a foul on the floor on Wisconsin. And Brad Davison gets another foul as Williams kept the possession going.
And VA, you and I talked about it during the last break. Williams looked spent. But nevertheless, he's given it his all on the offensive glass, particularly. I think Matt Painter's going to have to find a way to give Williams a little bit more of a blow right here down the stretch. If Happ is going to get some rest, Williams needs to get some.
Most minutes Williams has played at the collegiate level. He's up over 21 now. He played 21 against Michigan State. He's working on Reavers. Davison comes in, and a held ball. Possession arrow belongs to Purdue, but Davison, who just picked up 2 quick fouls to give him 3 for the game, aggressively in on Williams. Dangerous.
Williams just dribbles right into it. Davison steps up and ties him up. They're challenging whether Williams can beat the double team.
Edwards got away with a walk. Klein for 3. And it is Williams again, and a foul.
Big fella doing work.
Tell you what, Purdue has found something in this guy. Trevion Williams had hardly played in the non-conference schedule. Averaged just 4 points, little over 6 minutes. Just a piece player. Way more than that the last 2 games.
Compressed in his service because of the injury to Boudreaux, but making his presence felt, anchoring down low, hard to move him. And then with his elevation and the length of his arms, able to get his hands on those offensive rebounds.
6 points, 8 boards for Trevion Williams. Will miss badly twice, but he has forced Greg Gard to put Happ back on the floor. Purdue has 12 offensive rebounds. Williams has 5 of those 12 offensive rebounds, and now a steal. Williams right in the lane.
And again, another underestimation of Williams' length.
On the tape, and down it goes. Strong finish at the rim. No gel Eastern to Williams. Set up beautifully. Here's Happ now. Spins. Williams there. Boy, Happ, quick release. Took it right to the big man.
Yeah, I tell you again, you just marvel at the footwork of Ethan Happ. And Trevion Williams, because he's got 3 fouls, he wants to be very careful. The expectation is Happ is going to score. You shut everybody else down.
Harms set to check back in for Williams. Shot clock down to 9. Williams calling for it. Here's Edwards now. Late clock and a foul. Khalil Iverson picks up number 3.
Big fella making his presence known there in the passing lane, using those long arms, and a nice dish on the cutting Williams down the lane. Now again, as you mentioned, Brian, he's played a lot of minutes. Finally, Matt Painter is going to give him a blow, hopeful that it's only for a short period of time where he can catch his breath. But he's the guy that they need definitely in the middle down the stretch.
23 minutes for Williams. 8 points, 8 rebounds, 5 of those offensive boards. Purdue by 2 with the ball. Approaching the 5-minute mark. Harms catch, 2-handed flush. Set up by Klein.
Nice delivery by Klein on the money.
Purdue up 4. Wisconsin, little 2-man game. Happ turns it over. This is a season high for turnovers for the Badgers. That's number 14. Klein for 3. Yes! Purdue on a run. Up 6 on the road in Madison.
And I never thought I'd say this, but that was a careless pass by Ethan Happ. I know what he's trying to do. But he's the guy with the ball on the baseline. He can't be unselfish.
Ryan Klein has come to life behind the arc. He's 4 for 5. 3 of those coming in the second half.
Well, there's Harms right there, going to set a screen and then roll to the basket down low. People, he posts The problem is that the defender, Ethan Happ, can't get in behind him. And then Klein just knocking the three down, and the Boilers are happy about that. Purdue on an 8-2 run because of outstanding defense and some pretty unselfish, diverse offense.
Matt Painter and Purdue looking for their first true road win of the year. Their net rating, the NCAA evaluation tool, which is a new element that will be used heavily, has Purdue at 25. They've got some good wins this year. Their 2 conference wins coming against Maryland and Iowa. 2 conference losses against Michigan State and Michigan, but they don't have that true road win yet. They are in a position, though. They've played one of the toughest schedules in the country. Only Kansas and Oklahoma, according to Ken Palm, have played a more difficult schedule. See if Wisconsin has an answer now. They're down 7. Pritzel on the floor. Reavers with Pritzel and Davison. Iverson and Trice. Here's Davison. No. And Iverson the follow. Reavers keeps it alive. And it is Pritzel. Pritzel passed up a 3. Iverson will take a mid-range and he'll hit it. In a scramble, Wisconsin comes away with 2.
Seeing some outstanding effort. You know, even if the ball doesn't bounce their way, both Wisconsin, Purdue have no qualms about getting on the floor, getting after it, about jumping in a crowd and fighting for it.
Shot clock at 3. Klein, long 3. Wisconsin ball. Timeout on the floor. We got to finish in front of us, folks. 5-point game. Badgers down. They'll have the ball when we continue on FS1. On top on the road, and we're always looking for the ancillary pieces. Trevion Williams has been that tonight for Purdue.
Yeah, up until the last couple of games, he's been seldom used, but tonight, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 3 steals. He's been a major factor on the defensive end, and we're seeing some pretty goodness, at least a projection of pretty goodness, if not greatness, down the road.
I'm with you. Trevion Williams, with injury comes opportunity. Evan Boudreau out. And Williams getting his chance. Game reset sponsored by SoFi. Get your money right. Wisconsin, last time they were on this floor, a loss against Minnesota. They turned it over late. 3 straight possessions down the stretch. They turned it over. Here's Happ now working on hard. The left-handed hook is good. Purdue had a 1-point halftime lead, 37-36. 4 ties, 2 lead changes through the half. This half, Wisconsin has led by as many as 4. Purdue has led by as many as 7. Now it's a 3-point game. Edwards on the take, and offensive foul. Davison draws the charge. Edwards turns it over.
Carson Edwards with that hard drive. Doesn't believe the call, but where's that left hand? It comes up on the ball, but it looks like it's a push-off right there. Absolutely.
Makes it an easy call. DJ Carstensen with that call. Now it's Wisconsin ball, down 3. 17,000 plus here at the Kohl Center trying to help out their Badgers. Trice. Now Davison.
Got to stay on half side. Neat situation. You got to get it in.
Trice. He'll pull it. Wild shot for Trice. Iverson gets another offensive board. Davison for 3. Yes, sir! Brad Davison ties it.
How often have you seen it? Off the offensive rebound. Kick back outside.
Iverson with his 2nd offensive rebound in the last 3 minutes for Wisconsin.
And look at the battle underneath. Iverson comes up with it, and just to kick back outside, it's all the black shirts converged around the ball, and they get to Davison too late.
Davison now with 13 points. He is 3 for 3 from behind the arc. The Badgers get a second chance, and they cash it in and quickly erase a 7-point deficit with a 7-0 run. 2:22 left.
This shot by Purdue, a turnover by Purdue. Next thing you know, tie ball game.
Davison averaging a little over 10 a game. He's a 42% three-point shooter. He's put 11 on the board here in the second half, and all 3 of his threes have come in half number 2.
Yeah, you can see definitely on the lateral pass and then a little inside-out action. Brad Davison's right man in the right place.
Here's Edwards. No. Harms with a rebound. It's another offensive board. And it's stripped away, but a foul by Davison. He'll pick up number 4, the reach-in on Edwards. Both teams in the bonus. Free throws to the finish line.
How big was that offensive rebound by Harms to get it back outside, get another possession?
Edwards. And knocks down the first free throw. Purdue with 14 offensive rebounds. They have 11 second chance points. Second best free throw percentage in the Big Ten. Carson Edwards buries them both. Clutch free throws. Gives Purdue a 2-point lead.
Yeah, that offensive rebound was huge because Purdue could not afford to come down on that trip without an opportunity to score.
Inside, Happ. And he's fouled. And Happ will go to the line. It's a block. Ethan Happ goes to the hole. And will shoot 2. And that is not necessarily a bad thing for Purdue to have Ethan Happ go to the free throw line.
Nice. It's all about the form and the confidence. He's worked on the form. Now the confidence comes in this game, and he's demonstrated it thus far.
28 and 11. Ethan Happ has 5 assists and 1 out of 2 at the line. Makes it a 1-point game. Purdue in the lead with the ball. Under 2 minutes to go at the Kohl Center in Madison. Now Edwards. Happ on it, poked it away. That'll be Purdue ball. Ethan Happ on the switch with Edwards. Able to pop it out of bounds. 12 on the shot clock.
And with all the screening down, trying to free Edwards, Grady Eifert took a knee to the thigh. See if he's dinged up.
Iverson on Edwards now. Gives it up. Klein with Davison on it. Tough shot. Forces one up. It's the rim. There's Happ with the board. Rebound number 12. Badgers can take the lead here. Trice. Now Davison dumps into Happ. There he is. Iverson gives it up. Trice wide open. Great ball movement. Nothing doing there for Wisconsin.
They did everything that they needed to do except knock the shot down.
Are you good with Harms over Trevion Williams here down the stretch?
Well, at this stage, Harms has got the experience.
Under a minute. Shot clock at 8. Edwards. Long 3. Oh, my goodness. Carson Edwards with Happ on him. Delivers a big 3.
And you see that stare was daggers.
4-point deficit, Wisconsin with the ball.
Eastern doing a nice job on Trice, keeping him away from the basket.
Got to get it going. Can't break free. Timeout, Greg Gard. 30.5 remaining in the game. 15 on the shot clock. Carson Edwards doing what he does best. 17 now in the second half. He's got a 31-point night going.
Well, using the screens that he has, and he's used the multiple He finally gets enough daylight with Ethan Happ on him. How ironic was that? Big shot and two of the biggest players involved in it.
It has been a show tonight. Two of the great players in the Big Ten. They'll be in the conversation for Big Ten Player of the Year, 2 All-America candidates in the preseason. 31 from Edwards in 37 minutes. He's made 6 3-pointers. Happ has 28 on 13 of 15 shooting. And Purdue is sniffing that big road win they've been looking for all year.
And the difference between Happ and Edwards down the stretch is Purdue's doing a better job of getting the ball out of Ethan Happ's hands with the double team. And you got Edwards on the other hand who can go just about anywhere he wants on the floor. Has found a way to get free. You know, that's what I always say. Big guys are like kings on the chessboard. You need other people to work with you to get it. A guy like Carson Edwards is a queen, man. He can go anywhere he wants.
Both teams in the bonus. Wisconsin just used their last timeout. Purdue still with 2 remaining. It is Wisconsin ball, 15 on the shot clock. Greg Gard getting the timeout as Trice simply could not shake No-Gel Eastern. And now we'll see what kind of play Gard draws up here. Wisconsin desperate for a basket, down 4. Pritzel. This is a 3. Happ keeps it alive, gets it back. Trice for 3. Oh, off the window it goes. Demetric Trice makes it a 1-point game. Shot clock is off. Back to the other side of the floor for free throws. Desperation heave goes, and it keeps the Badgers in it.
That's what the backboard's for. I'm not sure on that particular shot. But again, offensive rebound by Happ. Trice, as you said, absolute luck off of that glass. But the box score won't reflect luck.
Iverson got the quick foul on Edwards, who goes to the line. Hits the first of the 1-and-1. Same routine every time for Edwards.
Well, that's what it's about. To get into that habit becomes muscle memory.
Big free throw here. 3-point game.
Whatever.
Shot clock is off.
Whatever happened to my mic?
Trice. 3-pointer for the tie. Oh! It's good! Demetric Trice ties it at 74. No timeout for Matt Painter, even though he's got 2. He's going to play on here. Edwards. Air ball. And Matt Painter just looks at Carson Edwards. Says why? Says was it deflected?
High screen and a double team does nothing to bother Trice.
Matt Painter is asking the officials if it was tipped, if the shot was tipped, which would make it Purdue ball. I don't think so with the naked eye, but certainly something that you can review. Courtney Green goes to DJ Carstensen. Now Bill Eck will join the discussion.
Well, you start from the premise that rarely do you see him shoot an air ball.
But an air ball from 30 feet is more understandable.
Although I watched him in practice today, though, and he was making those.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Let's take a look. We'll give him the same look we'll give you at home as the officials watch. Davison was guarding. So actually, Bill Eck just came over.
Yeah.
And they're not looking for a deflection. He told us they're checking the time. So they're going to check the clock here. So, yeah, there's no deflection, no block shot, no tip shot. 3.2 on the clock.
I believe now 3.8.
Yep. So it gives Wisconsin the ball. No timeouts for the Badgers. And a chance to win this one after Demetric Trice buries 2 threes in the last 2 possessions.
Well, with Ethan Happ inbounding the ball, probably the best passer on this team, you can expect this to be a perimeter shot, even though there's enough time to get to the basket.
Here they go. Trice got a chance for the win here. Trice puts it up, no whistles, and we are headed for overtime.
If you're going to have free basketball, make it these 2 teams.
Something. What a game. And it continues here. Wisconsin looked all but done. Got a desperation heave off the window by Demetric Trice. Get another 3 by Trice to tie it. And here we go to overtime. Overtime here on FS1 is sponsored by the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Put another 5 on the clock in front of this sellout crowd of 17,000 plus here at the Kohl Center. What a flurry for Wisconsin to finish regulation.
And what this does for Purdue, it gives them a chance to put Travion Williams back into the ball game because you've got an extra 5 minutes. And it obviously is going to be a case of trying to go back to Ethan Happ, continue to work inside out.
Add one more timeout, so the Badgers will have 1 timeout. Purdue has 3. Interesting, Matt Painter. A lot of coaches do this. They will let the play go. No timeout to set up a play. Trusting Carson Edwards. Edwards took a long 3-pointer and missed it with an air ball. So no chance for Purdue to steal a win at the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting that he took that shot, but you got to say, I watched him practice that from 3 sides of the 3-point line today. So it's not as though, you know, that was a shot he pulled out of his hat.
(74-74) as we head to overtime. I'll tell you, Ethan Happ, I thought he took a couple of steps trying to throw that ball in bounds. It was not a made basket.
Well,
but
you're right.
Not called.
You're right. It is something that was a spot throw-in, having gone out of bounds.
Doesn't matter now, as we'll jump center. And back on the floor is Travion Williams. It'll be controlled by Wisconsin. Wisconsin has had 1 OT game. That was a loss. This is the first overtime game of the year for Purdue. Happ. And he walks. Travel will turn it over. Purdue ball.
And that was good timing by the guy charged with the double team to step in at the last minute to force Happ to change direction. So another wrinkle in the defense against Ethan Happ pays dividends.
Eastern initiates the offense. Carson Edwards being hounded by Iverson. Edwards with 33 tonight. Almost a turnover. Shot clock to 9. And Happ. Now Williams way away from the basket. Gives it up. Nice pass. Eifert with the finish.
And how about Travion Williams once again making something happen, being a creator this time. And the big fella, you just don't think by looking at him he's as nimble as he truly is.
3rd assist for Williams. Been impressive. It was Harms who was on the floor for crunch time. This OT allows Williams back on. Happ goes inside, and a foul on Williams. Got him on the arm. Happ to the free throw line.
Talk about the foot quickness and a nice no-look by Travion Williams. That's a basketball player there, folks. But on the other end, he gets victimized by Ethan Happ. One thing Williams can't do is allow Happ to back him down. You got to summon up the strength to hold your ground.
4th foul on Williams. And Happ unable to connect.
And in a odd way, maybe that's not such a bad strategy right there. Ethan Happ, 49% free throw shooter. How do you call it?
It's been a hack-a-hack on occasion. He calmly knocks down the second. So at the free throw line tonight, Ethan Happ's made threes, 3 for 6. He's got 29 with 13 rebounds. Purdue by a point with the ball. Edwards trying to break free from Iverson. Now Edwards goes to work, gets the screen. Williams there. Williams to the hole and a foul. Ethan Happ. Pretzel got himself in good defensive position, but Happ with the foul prior to.
On the screen, watch the double team. Happ comes out the hard hedge, doesn't get there in time. Pretzel with a nice job of the help, but the foul comes underneath.
That'll send Williams to the line. Has hardly been to the line. 0 for 4 tonight. This season, Williams takes his 15th free throw of the year. He's missed 5 in a row tonight.
And here we have a promising young center, an outstanding young center. But both of them are going to be victims of being fouled at the worst time. Neither one of them have demonstrated they can knock down free throws with regularity. As soon as I say that, the reverse jinx.
Must have heard you. 1 out of 2. And it's a 2-point game. What a game we have here tonight. Man. 2 longtime rivals, Purdue and Wisconsin. Here's Trice, and he's fouled by Eastern. 3 free throws for Demetric Trice.
Well, the call is that he got him in the face on the challenge, and it looked like a head jerk back. So from this angle, you can only go by the reaction, and officials right on top of it.
Trice has made 4 threes, hit 2 big ones at the end of regulation. Trice has had a knack for the clutch 3-point make late in games. Not afraid to take the big shot, and his 2 threes at the end of regulation sent us to overtime. Hits the first 2. He can give the Badgers the lead if he makes his 3rd.
When coaches tell defender, get a hand in the guy's face, they don't mean it literally. Okay. Especially behind
on a 3, right?
Exactly.
Trice, 71% free throw shooter, misses, gets 2 out of 3, and we are tied at 77. Edwards spins. Edwards, no. Williams can't finish it, and it'll be Wisconsin ball.
2-point blank looks at the basket. You know, a pirouette by Edwards. And just a flat-out missed tip by Williams.
We have had 20 ties tonight. 2:50 remaining in the first overtime. Badgers 3-1 in conference. Purdue 2-2. Here's Happ now. Goes to the hole. Quick release. Williams altered the shot. 1 and done for Wisconsin. The Badgers give up the possession. Now Purdue can take the lead.
And that's one quibble I would have with Ethan Happ on that one. You got to go strong to the basket. This is not finesse time. This is overtime.
Here's Edwards. Gets some space. Gets a friendly bounce. No. In and out. Eastern's there. Lefty. No. Williams wrestles it free. That one's blocked. 3 chances for the Boilers. They come up empty.
I think Williams was falling out of bounds. They've had to get rid of it.
Happ spins. Happ finishes. Badgers in the lead.
That's the challenge that you expect from Ethan Happ. And you got to fatigue Travion Williams. Take a look here. Attack hard. Williams can't stay with you. And you come up with dividends.
You see, Brad, songs are really about big life moments. Baby shower here. Big life moment.
What is in here?
Ooh, I hope it's a life insurance policy.
What?
It's a sensible gift. Protection for you and your family. Nationwide has all the tools to help you find the right coverage.
Tiny baby shoes. So close.
Makes no sense. Baby can't even walk. Should have been a life insurance policy. Plus, would have been a great song. Think about it. The lyrics, beneficiaries. Ooh, Brad, where are you going?
Well, Matt Painter's Boilermakers giving up the lead here. First lead for Wisconsin since the 12:53 mark. The reason we are in overtime, Lynn Elmore. Back-to-back threes from Dimitri Trice.
And on each of those, no hesitation, no thinking. Dimitri Trice just went back to his natural ability. And, you know, for young people out there, this is an instinctive game. You play on your instincts. You think long, you go wrong.
Purdue with the ball, down 2 now. Minute 45 left in our first overtime. Here's Edwards, turns the corner, run-ins to Trice, and a foul. Edwards to the free throw line. Let's see who they get here. You had Davison in on the action. You had Trice in there. Davison is called for the foul. I think maybe the officials are going to correct this call. Let's see. May have had it 2 ways.
Oh, it was on Trice. Had to be.
I'm not sure where Davison. One of the officials, Courtney Green, called Davison for the foul. DJ Carstensen, I believe, had Trice on the foul.
Yeah, from our vantage points, it looked like Trice swept down. Davison wasn't even in the play until I think the ball was released.
Well, it's significant because Davison is playing with 4 fouls right now. So it is going to be called on Trice. So Trice picks up his 3rd instead of Davison fouling out. Foul belongs to Trice, and that'll put Edwards on the line for 2 shots. Both teams in the double bonus. 7 out of 10 tonight. He's made his last 5. Edwards on 33 points. He's hit 6 threes tonight, one off his career best. Had 5 in a row. Now 7 of 11 from the line. One-point game. Harms back on the floor for Purdue for Trevion Williams. Trice will run the point with Happ, Brevin Pritzel, Davison, and Iverson for Wisconsin. Happ on Harms. Happ looking for help. Pritzel. And Pritzel would climb down on the ground. That is a foul on Wisconsin. Unforced error for Greg Gard's Badgers. Pritzel lost the handle.
Well, it all began with Pritzel receiving and then just about tipping that he was going back to Ethan Happ.
2 shots here for Klein. Foul is on Happ. You're right about the fatigue factor, by the way. I mean, we're in overtime. It's been a hard-fought game. You can see it in the body language of these players. They're giving it all they got tonight. It's been a great effort for both sides. 3 out of 4 for Ryan Klein. All tied at 79. 21st tie of this game. And another bad pass, fortunate for Wisconsin, ends up in the hands of Davison.
I mean, you know they want to get it to Ethan Happ, but there are too many tells that allow Purdue to get a hand on it.
Happ gives it up. Hot pass, turnover. Under a minute to go. Purdue with a chance to take the lead here.
And you're right, B.A. That was a hot pass, a little too hard. And too short a distance for Iverson.
Matt Painter wants a timeout this time. Each team with 1 timeout remaining. Both in the double bonus. And we're tied at 79. Man, what a game. Well, that's Greg Gary. He is in charge of the offense. He draws up the plays for Matt Painter and Purdue. Steve Lutz to the left. He's responsible for the defense. And And Greg Gary's trying to draw up one to give Purdue the lead on the road, looking for their first win in Madison since the 15-16 season. And these two, the bell cows of each of these programs, have delivered on point tonight. 31 for Happ, 34 for Carson Edwards.
And you can look at Carson Edwards. He's had to work for all 34 of those points. A tribute to the Wisconsin defense, whether it's Iverson, whether it's Fritzl, whoever's been guarding him, he certainly had to work 10 of 26. But nevertheless, he scored enough for his team to be where they are at this point in the game.
Purdue got the first basket of this overtime by Grady Eifert. They have missed their last 5 shots. They have some free throws mixed in there, but 5 field goals missed for Purdue. Ethan Happ just picked up his second foul. All tied at 79, 46.9 left. And it'll be side out here.
And you got to expect, if you're Wisconsin, screen downs for Edwards, screen and curl for Klein.
Edwards with Fritzl on him. Bullet pass. And a catch and a foul as Eifert. That was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball out of the hands of Carson Edwards.
It's wide open underneath is Eifert, as everybody's attention was on Carson Edwards, and it was Iverson who lost him.
And Iverson fouls out. He will sleep well tonight, Khalil Iverson. He has had the very difficult order of chasing down Carson Edwards all night.
I beg to differ. If Iverson makes these free throws and Purdue comes up for the win, I think Iverson, who was disappointed in himself in losing Eifert underneath, he won't have a comfortable sleep tonight.
Calmly hits the first. Grady Eifert. He's another guy that hasn't been to the line much this season. Eifert is just 16 free throw attempts on the year. He's now 11 for 16 as he knocks them both down. 81-79 Purdue. Badgers down a pair. About 7 seconds separating shot and game. Here is Trice, and Harms altering the shot. Now Wisconsin needs to foul. Shot clock is off. Trying to get the ball out of Edwards' hands. Got a foul. King finally gets one on Klein, which will send him to the line. Davison had 4 fouls on him. He couldn't foul. And now Klein can make this a 2-possession game.
Yeah, this is only his 13th free throw attempt. 9 of 13.
Missed it.
And you're right, pretty good patience by Wisconsin not to foul Carson Edwards, and the hope and the wait for him to give it up to somebody else.
1 out of 2. Wisconsin has a timeout. Will they use it? 2 threes by Trice send us into overtime. It's Trice with Eastern on him. And a foul.
Not a bad foul.
It's going to put Trice at the line for 2 shots.
Trice could have tied it, or someone could have tied it with a 3. You know, that's one of those 2 schools.
Shooting 2.
It's risky because if
you got to block
the
out.
Offensive player gets a shot up during that foul, you get 3, but Trice knocks down the first. That Painter does have a timeout if he wants it.
And also it's a risk if you don't block out on a miss.
Trice misses. Edwards the rebound. Edwards is fouled. And back to the other side of the floor they go. One of the great free throw shooters in the conference can put it away for Purdue, make it a 2-possession game.
Purdue took care of business on the block out.
What a gutsy victory this would be if Purdue can hang on here in Madison. Clutch made free throw for Carson Edwards. What a night. 35 points for Edwards. 9 of those points coming from the line. Got them both. Center cut. Two-possession game. It's a 4-point Purdue lead. Wisconsin's got to go quick. Got to go quick. Trice for 3. No, and that's going to take us to the end. And Purdue wins on the road. The Boilermakers get a hard-fought victory. Their first road win since February of 18 against Illinois. Their first win at the Kohl Center since December 29th of 2015. What a performance. Both schools, both programs, both stars. But Len, in the end, it was Carson Edwards and the Boilers that are going to walk away here with a signature win.
Yeah, Carson Edwards had to work for every one of his points, but knowing who Carson Edwards is, what he's about, he was able to seal the deal. Take nothing away from the effort by Ethan Happ. But you're right, a hard-fought victory on the road, a signature victory for Purdue as they got one of their quadrant 1 wins and their first real road win, as you mentioned.
Been 3 years since Purdue has won here. They do it tonight, 84-80 in overtime. That's going to do it for us in Madison. Now let's send it to Rob Stone in our Los Angeles studios.
All right, guys, thanks. We're going to get it right back out to Madison in a moment. The best conference in college hoops with 2 games defined by massive runs from the home team. But in the end, in game number 2, the road team getting the win. Rob Stone, Jim Jackson, Casey Jacobson in studio with you. Coming up over the next half hour, we're going to go back out to Madison. We're going to hear from Matt Painter after the big win. The Terps, they were getting run out of the building. And the second half happened. Highlights from their victory over ranked Indiana. Plus, we're going to eyeball our bracket experts' look at the NCAA tournament, which is currently filled with 9 Big Ten teams. Howie Schwab standing by live on the East Coast. We hope Howie's still up. Hope he's still up for that one. He's got some really interesting things to say, including, does Michigan deserve to be the #1 overall seed? Let's talk about Purdue getting this win right now. They go to 10-6 overall, 3-2 in conference play. We talked about it leading up to the game, Casey. They've got a star. His name is Carson Edwards, and he is going to carry this team. But maybe he should work on some of his shot selections at certain moments of the game.
Well, look, they can't win on the road against a Wisconsin team unless Carson Edwards has 30. I said 35 to Jim.
Right.
Ends up being 36. He's allowed to spill a little bit of paint. He's allowed to take a few bad shots for that performance. Let's talk to the coach.
All right. Yes, let's get back out live to Madison. Head coach Matt Painter, nice enough to join us. Coach, congratulations on the victory. I'm getting the sense kind of an exhausting victory for you guys on the road. Tell me about what you saw from Carson Painter today. Anything new from Carson Edwards? Anything new from his game tonight, Coach Painter?
No, not really. Obviously, he had a tough game against Michigan State other night, and, you know, he bounced back. And he made some big-time shots for us, made some big-time plays. But that's what he does. You know, he's a very electrifying player. Trying to get him to kind of pick his spots and drive the basketball. And I thought he had a couple really nice drives there in overtime that didn't go down. But, man, he made some nice pull-ups, good threes. Just had a good overall game.
Coach Painter, Jimmy Jackson, what's up, my friend? Congrats on the win. And quick question, you chose not to call a timeout when Carson had the ball. In some situations you will, some you won't. This time, what made you consider just letting him just make the play on his own?
Yeah, well, you know, when you get into those situations, obviously in hindsight, I'd call it timeout now. But I got the ball in the hands of the guy that I want, and he's got the whole floor, and we got a ball screen going up top. And so I wanted him to use that space and obviously drive the basketball and break them down. If he can dribble into a 3 or get into the paint, I'd prefer him to drive there. And, you know, he settled at that point. And, you know, he gets hot, and I think you can see that sometimes in guys that have so much to their game. Sometimes in those moments he settled. I don't know if he knew how far out he was, but like I said, in hindsight, I'd probably call a timeout. But, you know, we got the ball where it needed to be, and it was in his hands, and so I rolled with it.
Coach Painter, Casey Jacobson here. Congrats on a huge road win. Every road win is huge when you play in the Big Ten Conference this year. I want to ask you about a surprise performer tonight. Travion Williams. Normally, he comes into this game only averaging 6 minutes per game. I don't know if you guys win without him. How big was his impact?
Well, he's huge. You know, he's got big old hands. He's a good rebounder, big kid. He's lost 45 pounds since he's been on campus. Has really worked hard. We have one of our guys, Evan Boudreaux's been out, but anytime Trey's got an opportunity to play, he's produced, and he's going to be a really good player for us. And he got the start, and I thought he was great.
Coach Painter, thanks for joining us live. Enjoy this weekend. You got a couple days to digest it. Rutgers at home and then Indiana. Coach, thank you. Safe travels back home. So Purdue goes to overtime to get the victory at Madison. Carson Edwards putting up his fourth 30-point game of the campaign. He finished with a game-high 36, 10 of 26 from the floor, including 6 of 14 from 3, 10 of 14 from the free throw line. Also had 4 boards, only 1 assist.
Who cares about passing? Passing's overrated.
Passing's overrated?
Totally
Is that right?
overrated.
All right. So we were talking earlier tonight about